Welcome to my guide for the Mosa on Beasts of Bermuda. Now I have played Mosa quite a bit, and in my last video I got a pretty big Mosa to 1.475, I believe. Pretty big up there. So I'm going to show you a couple builds that I think would probably be the best way to play Mosa depending on how you want to play Mosa. Because on this game you can pretty much play however you want. You have so many points, you can do crazy things with it. But what's big is your inherits, and that's going to kind of let you know what to play and how to play, depending on what inherits you get. Now, I'm going to be playing at 1.5 growth. I'm on a test server, but this way you can see I think this is a good level to be as a Mosa. Now, obviously, it may take a long time to actually get to 1.5, and some people may not get there, but hopefully after this guide, you may at least get pretty close to up there. First thing I want to talk about as a Mosa is you eat meat. You do not eat fish. I see people do this every now and then, and they just go and they'll be like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat fish. Don't. Unless you know what you're doing and you know control of your bias, don't eat fish. So right now, I have 0 bias, as you can see there. If you eat one of these fishes, they're on my screen, I got negative 0.2 bias from eating a fish. Right here. Negative 0.2 bias. If you eat more and more and more fish, you will get negative bias, and it can eventually kill you. To counteract it, you just eat some sponges. Which brings me to my next point. Always eat sponges. Always. You always want these sponges to be eaten. And to get that right there. Healthy herbs. You've been eating quite healthy, blah blah blah, boost in comfort, this improves the rate at which you heal, gain ability power, gain stamina, recover from injury, gain points, and grow. So growing is the big one. You want this to help yourself grow faster. So just keep eating sponges constantly, keep that bias high, and you'll grow. This also helps with people who do not take scavenger right here, that allows you to actually eat some fish, and with bad carcasses doesn't let you get negative bias too bad with bad carcasses, because with 0 points into it, eating bad meat can kill you as well. But if you keep your bias high, you never have to worry about it. And if you do eat some bad meat, just come and eat some more sponges. More on finding food is, you can see here, I'm a little hungry, so if I want to find food, you're going to want to sniff around, look for food. You can't really see food that well sniffing around. Everything looks blue. Actually, there's a little bit of red over there. I can barely make it out. There is some red over there. So it looks like there's meat that way. But this is a very bad way of trying to find food. What you do want to do, though, is swim up to the surface, break right here, and then sniff. There. See how predominant that red is and how easily noticeable? There's also one right behind me. Right there. Easy. That's how you find food. And then you swim to it. I saw it was down here. It's around here somewhere. Just kind of look for it. Now you can sniff. There's that red. And I found it right there. And I got it. That's how you find food. Very easily. Very easy to survive. And even as a really large Mosa, you can survive on gore. Like, that gives a little bit, but maybe like 15 to 20 of them, and you'll get a full belly. Especially if you have your bias going and you can eat whatever kind of food you want. Oh, come on. That's also what you need to do right here. Another great point. See how I'm like right here? I'm not doing this. That is bad. That lets everything know where you're at. What you do is you stop, hold Alt, and then hold E, and you can breathe. That's how you breathe at the surface without drawing attention to yourself. So as a Mosa player, what you should do is stay in groups. You should always be with another Mosa, at least one other Mosa. If you are a solo player, well, you probably won't make it very long by yourself. More than likely you will get killed by either another Mosa, 2 Mosas, pair of Chronos, pair of Elasmos, something will probably kill you. You won't make it too far alone. So you should always try and at least find a group of friends or a pack mates, or join the Discord or whatever server you're playing on, you want friends to be with as a Mosa. Being a solo Mosa is not a good thing. You can do it, but typically you won't last very long. With that, to help you last very long, don't go into caves. I'm here on Revival Shores, don't go in any of the caves. Once you reach at least 1.2, you may go into the caves. Why? Because at that 1.2, you have a potential to get powerful jaws. If you only have 3 out of 3 powerful jaws, you're not grabbing much things. And if you go in there and there's a chrono who's 1.1, 1.2, you have to be at least 1.5 to grab a 1.2 chrono with only 3 out of 3. Like, it's stupid hard to grab a chrono, or even another Mosa for that matter, unless you have points into Powerful Jaw and you have inherits in Powerful Jaw. Then it changes up the story. You can pick up just about anything if you have 2 Powerful Jaw and have 5 out of 3. Then at 1.2 you can pick up like a 1.1 Mosa. You could almost pick up another 1.2 Mosa. And if you're bigger, if you're like 1.3, you could pick up like a 1.2 Chrono as a 1.3 Mosa with 5 out of 3 Powerful Jaws. So until 1.2, avoid caves, eat gore along the side, find Ichthys, find Lurds, find Elasmos, find people trying to cross the land bridges, but avoid caves, especially if you know there are big Chronos on the server. Avoid caves. Now, unless you plan to no-life this game and just play constantly, growing a Mosa takes a long time. But fear not, your hunger lasts forever. You can literally go for like an hour to an hour and a half worth a full stomach of AFKing. So you could play another game on the side, you can run to the store, you can make your dinner, you could cook food, you could eat food, you could watch an anime episode, you could watch an episode of your favorite show, potentially watch a movie. I would take a break and check on your dinosaur in between halfway point of the movie, but you can AFK these things very easily. You just don't want to be like hiding behind this rock at the open. They're gonna find you. You want to like swim out to the ocean, swim deep down, hide somewhere good, especially if it is a well-populated server. Most hiding spots are pretty much going to be taken or sought out, so you just want to swim out deep and hide either very deep, very dark, or that's why you have friends and all of y'all AFK together in one area, taking turns on watch or whatever you need to. But you probably will have to AFK a lot unless you're going to no-life Mosa game. When you're fighting as a Mosa, if you're going to fight a Chrono, you shouldn't unless you can grab it. If you cannot grab it, you probably should not fight it, especially 1-on-1 or 2v2. Because if they get you in a 1v1 situation, you're pretty much dead. Especially if there's more than one Chrono, they're pretty much going to kill you unless you can grab them. So always make sure you're stronger than a Chrono or bigger with powerful jaws if you decide to fight one, which I will give you a build to help you out with that. But if not, fighting like other Mosas, gonna get my air there, you probably should just avoid it, because if they're bigger than you, they're just gonna kill you. They're gonna grab you and thrash you and kill you. If you do, however, get grabbed, dart out immediately. They pick you up, dart, and you'll break out from their grab. Only the aquatics and semi-aquatics can do that, but that's how you break out of a Mosa grab. And especially thick hide will help against other Mosas, which I'll talk about more later. But Elasmos, you can fight them however you need to. More than likely they'll just run from you. So grabbing them is a good way to keep them there. But you can fight them however you want. Land creatures, pretty much you just want to grab them, because that's how you're going to get them, is to grab them and drag them under. You're never going to sit there and have like a biting match with them, because they just run away if they need to. To use your grab ability, you either have to press Z or double tap E, just like picking up food. If you double tap E, you grab, and that's how you can also grab other players. Double tap E or just press Z, that's simple. Whatever your ability key is, if it's not Z, X, or whatever you set it to. For the first build that I'm going to show off for this Mosa guide is a generic Mosa. This is like what, if you're new to Mosa, if you've never played Mosa, if you don't know what you want to do playing Mosa, this is the build you go for just to be a good, all-around, decent, I could fight anything if I need to Mosa. So right here, this is how the build looks. Now I have an inherit in nimble-footed, improved dart, strong bones, constitution, great Great inherits. This is great. Now this Mosa would be a great Mosa to fight a Chrono with. Now, that's not... We'll reset these points and you'll get to see all that. But this is just for a generic Mosa. You're going to take 3 out of 3 Rich Blood. Because Oxygen is your everything. That lets you use your abilities. That lets you attack. That lets you do everything. The Oxygen is your all in all. So you always want 3 out of 3. Then you just take 1 point in Endurance and 1 point in Dart. We have an Inherit in Dart, so that's just awesome to have. Over here, 3 out of 3 in all of this. This is what's going to make us our most powerful and let us fight just about anything that we want to. And then our typical 1 down here to get keen senses, so you can sense when people are coming, whether if you're in the cave and you're waiting at a pond for a dinosaur to show up, you can sense them walking in. Or if you're swimming around and you can sense Chronos sneaking up on you, or other Mosas coming around. So, 1 through this way, and with the thick hide, it's going to help against other Mosas and Elasmos, creatures smaller than you. Like if you get stuck on the land, since you don't have none of this. This is just going to help you kind of survive in that sense. So this is just a generic Mosa build. I don't recommend doing this unless you're going for a full speed Mosa, which I will talk about later. But if not, this is just kind of what you want to go for. We are here with our next Mosa. This is going to be your second build. This is the Chrono Fighter. This is the Mosa that only wants to fight Chronos, that is specifically designed to kill Chronos. Here's this build. Now, you are slow. You do not have anything here, so you're going to have to just bear with the build, because this is for Chrono fighting only. So you're going to start out 3 out of 3 on all of this. Luckily, this Mosa got a powerful Jaw inherit, so 4 out of 3? Perfect. This is exactly what you want for fighting Chronos. 5 out of 3 would be better, but 4 out of 3 is just as good. Now, the reason why you're not taking Brawler is because, like I said, if you cannot if you cannot pick them up, sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. If you cannot pick up the Chrono, you have no business fighting the Chrono. So you want Powerful Neck to do your thrashing damage. This does not affect your thrashing damage. This only affects your biting damage, not this. This will increase thrash damage, this will increase biting damage. That is it. They do not stack to each other. Sharp Teeth, however, will help both of these out, but you only want it for Powerful Neck in this case. And it doesn't even matter if the creature's bigger or not. Sharp Teeth will give you a bonus increase of damage no matter what. So you always want Sharp Teeth, because it is insanely powerful. Like I said, if you cannot grab the Chrono, don't even bother, which is why you don't need this. You want this right here, 3 out of 3 Rich Blood. Like I said, you want that Oxygen maxed out. Here I have 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, and 2 out of 3. Now, I would love to go 3 out of 3 Strong Bones, and you can, if you just want to go this way. But I do recommend at least 1 point into Constitution to give you that big health. And then Keen Senses, just so you can sense these Chronos where they're at. They can be very sneaky and come out of the blue with how far their dart lets them go. So this will at least help you stay on your toes. You could easily just put these two... because those two don't even make this right here. You could take these two and put them wherever you want. I recommend having them here, though. For this next build on the Mosa, we're going to be doing a land Mosa. So a Mosa that wants to get on land, camp around the bridges, jump up, grab somebody, kill them, or drag them back into the water. So I haven't taken any points yet because I want to show you guys what is important about the land Mosa. This is kind of the speed Mosa as well. So when you get up on land, I have no points, so bear with me real quick. Come on. This is why it's hard to be a good land Mosa, especially if you have no points into it. You can't go anywhere without dart. There we go. Okay, so I'm on land. You can see just how slow I am. So I did get the inherit of Beachgoer 1. So this is what it looks like as a 1.5 Mosa with 1 point into Beachgoer, and that is it. Even at a 1.5, you can die super easy if you're stuck like this. You're dead. So what we're going to do is slowly build up to this. So now I have 2. Not too bad. Now I have 3. This is actually pretty good. But see, this is 3 points on a 1.5 Mosa. You are still pretty damn slow. And look at that turning. Like, even with 3 out of 3, you're going to get wrecked as a Mosa on land. So this is how fast you would be normally. So I'm going to go ahead and put a point into swiftness because this does help you. Makes you a little bit faster. So as you can see, not that crazy big of a difference. If I put another one, stamina back here, it's still nothing crazy. Like, this is not that like crazy of a Mosa. But since we did get that +1 here, oh, I gotta take all 3 here. Now we can get somewhere. Now we have 4 out of 3. Now we got some speed on our hand. And then we can max this out 3 out of 3. Now, see, it's still not that crazy. So here's what I'm going to do. So now I just set swiftness to 5 out of 3. So this is what happens if you had a +2 on swiftness and a +1 on beachgoer. You are hauling. Look at you go. You are fast on this Mosa. Now if we had, let's do beachgoer. And let's set it at 5 out of 3. So let's see, make sure. Okay, so that needs to be 4 out of 3. Yeah, see, it just messed up. Okay, 4 out of 3 +1. There we go. Look at it go. Look at you. If you can get a +2 on beachgoer and +2 on swiftness, you can be a land Mosa. You can do this. But only with those 2 perks. If you do not have those perks, don't even bother going up to beachgoer or to swiftness. Just don't even bother. Don't even be that type of Mosa. Just don't get on land. That's how you get killed. But if you do that and you get out like Aqua Infinity and you want to max out your dart, obviously, so right here we have all that, like these 2 maxed out as possible, as high as possible. Like, you are going. Let's see this dart. And look at you go. You're honestly almost faster on land than you are in the water, just because of that beachgoer. So this is what your land Mosa is going to want to look like. You got 3 out of 3 here with your inherits on here. You got your improved dart all the way maxed up. You have Sunbather maxed out. You have at least 1 point this way, all the way to powerful neck, powerful jaw, sharp teeth, just to help you get by and help you fight some things. And you have 1 point. You can either take it to exhausting bite, sneaky, nimble-footed, right here in long runner, if you wanted some intimidation, if you want comfort, if you want to breed a little bit. You can put this 1 point kind of wherever you want. It doesn't really matter. I'll leave that up to you. For our last Mosa that people may play is the breeder Mosa. So this is if you want to breed yourself in, breed other people. You just want to be this big comfort breeding Mosa that just has fun and you love making little Mosas. Let me swim down, away from that rain. This is what the build should probably look like. You gotta max out here in good parent, because you're nesting, you want the good parent. That's a given. But you don't want to go too far up this way, because like I said, these 2, they don't really help you except if you're on land and only if you have inherits in it. So you just want these 3 right here. And then obviously you max out. You want to be healthy, because you are not going to be going nowhere. You're going to kind of not really be a good fighter, but healthy so you can take some hits and have your keen senses all the way maxed out. You can notice danger from a mile away and you can get out of there. If you do have to fight though, this is what you're taking right here, and your sharp teeth. You're not taking powerful jaw and you're not taking powerful neck, because you're not going to be maxing these things out. More than likely you're not going to be grabbing prey to fight them. So you're going to have this and this so that you can use your dart and your bite to do damage and fight other players, because you're not really going to be grabbing them. So I wouldn't even worry about that. That's going to wrap up this Mosa guide on how to actually play different Mosas, different Mosa builds, kind of what you would expect, kind of like what's good and what's not good, because especially I know a lot of people max out 3 out of 3 on speed and think they're fast when they're really not that fast. I've outran 3 out of 3 speeds on just a larger Mosa with like 1 out of 3 on speed, and I would outrun them and catch them. So unless you're going to have inherits in speed, like you're breeding in and you're going for speed inherits, then I wouldn't even bother taking it. But that's going to be it. That's going to wrap this up. Hopefully this helps out new Mosa players, maybe old Mosa players, anyone who wants to play Mosa. You learned a little bit and you can have better luck with it.